Laila's Wonderland Adventure. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Laila. She lived in a beautiful house with a large garden. In the garden, there was an enormous old tree with a secret door hidden behind it. Laila's best friend was her faithful dog, Rocco. One sunny afternoon, while playing in the garden, Laila and Rocco discovered the hidden door behind the tree. Filled with curiosity, Laila opened the door and stepped inside. Rocco, not wanting to leave her side, followed her into this new world. They found themselves in a magical world, full of vibrant colors and strange creatures. Trees swayed and whispered to each other, while flowers danced joyfully in the breeze. As they ventured further, they met a group of chattering fairies. The fairies were small and sparkly, with tiny wings that fluttered quickly. The fairies showed Laila and Rocco around, introducing them to the talking animals. The animals were gentle and friendly, making them feel welcome. Laila and Rocco spent the day exploring this enchanting world. They danced with the flowers, chatted with the trees, and played games with the animals. However, as the day turned into night, Laila started to miss her home. She longed for her family, her own bed, and the familiar sounds of her house. The fairies noticed Laila's sadness and understood her longing for home. They led Laila and Rocco back to the magical door that would take them back to their world. As they stood before the door, Laila thanked the fairies and the animals for the wonderful adventure. She promised to remember them always. With Rocco by her side, Laila stepped through the door. In an instant, they were back in their garden, under the old tree. Laila looked around. Everything was just as they had left it. She could see her house in the distance, and hear her mother calling her for dinner. Laila and Rocco rushed home, happy to be back. As they entered the house, they were greeted with warm hugs and the smell of their favorite food. That night, as Laila lay in bed, she thought about her adventure. She smiled at the memories and fell asleep dreaming of the wonderful creatures they had met. The next day, Laila and Rocco went back to the tree. The door was still there, but it remained closed. Laila understood that it was a one-time adventure. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Laila and Rocco continued their usual play in the garden, but they never forgot their magical adventure. Sometimes, Laila would sit under the tree, close her eyes, and remember the sounds, the colors, and the creatures of the magical world. And Rocco, he would often wag his tail and bark softly, as if he, too, was reminiscing about their adventure in the Wonderland. Despite their longing for the magical world, Laila and Rocco were happy. They had each other, their family, and a garden full of memories. They knew that the magic of their adventure was not in the Wonderland, but in the friendship they shared, the lessons they learned, and the memories they created. Their adventure in the Wonderland made them realize that while it's exciting to explore new places, there's no place quite like home. And with that, they lived happily ever after. The end.